Yo, Sigma here. Thanks for joining me again, or for the first time. So I'm making this video technically again because one of my common commenters asked for me to do a long press on all the parts that are relevant to this build, or all the parts, I guess. So here we go. Hinotori has just been... I've actually been working on this build for a long time, although it's changed names since I switched styles from range to melee. And this is probably one of the better versions of it. I have a couple of different versions where something else takes the place of another trait, but they all end up with 100% more or less. So this is just a review real quick of all the traits as you can see them, because the percentiles work out fairly easily. And I'll do a review of that at the end too. So the head is the Wing Zero 7-star. It's one of the first ones. It's got initial cooldown of 15% for high firepower, and when you're attacking with beam shooting, you get 25% more power, so that buffs her most of her skills. In the secondary slot, I've got the Cubely head because it's got a lot of traits that I need for it, or excuse me, word tags that I need for it. Commander and mid-range, for instance, and it gives a huge buff to stats. I don't know if there's a better one, but this is the one that works for now. Then there's the second V chest. Always bad at long pressing since I switched to the computer, which is really weird. And that's got an ace accelerator. But this isn't the useful part for the cooldown build. This is the primary part, which provides mostly just stats. The secondary part is the Gundam Perfect Strike Freedom. That's a mouthful. Which provides the against attributes EX skill bonus. You know, when you're dealing with somebody who's strong against you, so you're backed into a corner basically. And then mid-range gets a cooldown buff. It's the Perfect Strike Freedom. I didn't long press on the Cubely head. Or the Wing Zero. No, I did do the Wing Zero head. Excuse me for backtracking a little bit. I'm not used to doing this much. Or ad-libbing either. I mean, I do tell multiple takes watching my own videos because I flub a lot and I stutter sometimes, so. And I make weird verbal tics like that. This was a part that I picked out just for the sake of boosting the cooldown up to 100% or past 100%. It's the Night Unicorn Gundam Beast Mode. And I'm trying to get all the parts to be altered so that their traits are... So they have two traits, because that tends to just be better for obvious reasons, because you have two buffs instead of one from every part. Meanwhile, this one is the Raphael legs, which I forgot that I hadn't upgraded that, but I will. And it's the only 7-star that I've upgraded since upgraded to maximum since the whatchamacallit came out. Since the 7 stars came out, that up to 7 stars, that isn't something from the build project. Most of the other ones are, you know, real low, I think. I may be forgetting one or two, but yeah. In this one, it is the Zeta Gundam back for the front, for the main part, and the X1 Kai Kai. Oh, I need to add another mark to that. Like I said, most of my builds are imperfect because either because I have ADHD and forget, or I get distracted and go, ooh, I could probably improve it this way. There's a lot of improvement that I can make on this build, not gonna lie. So I kind of appreciate being able to go look over this again. So this part is, again, in serious need of upgrading, and therefore a tag. So it's actually improving the power of Axis drop. I didn't even remember that. So this is the Strike Rouge IWSP. Yeah, excuse me. I don't know what that stands for. I'm terrible with acronyms sometimes. Ideally, when this build is perfected, it would have a good bonus trait on all of the parts, because you get the bonus trait from the main part, and you get the you can pick whichever main traits are on there from the sub part if you want, obviously. And this is the Hakushiki Clay Bazooka, because it's at the moment one of the better ranged weapons. I think they might have come out with one or two that have topped that. And of course, I do have this upgraded as much as I can. And this is the GN hand missile Estrella Type F. If I'm not saying that right, excuse me. Also, the other reason why I went for the bazooka, also one of the things that made me suspect that the devs were paying more attention than I first expected. So, and the main shield for it is the RX-105Z shield with the original Grandpa Gundam big shield on the back. So that improves my beam crit rate, which I still don't really know what criticals do to damage in this. And then there's Troa Barton, the Build Project pilot, both one of my favorite pilots and a great pilot if you can get it. At the moment, it's not perfected, and one of my parts that I'm like, once this guy is perfected, he's just going to do amazing things, because that suit is designed to run at 90% and almost always is. And then I have the commander part here just for the sake of getting the commander. And my Neo Roanoke is on another build, so I can't put the long shooter on this. This is a middle shooter because it's part of one of my other teams. It's just the one with the highest power. So it's a mid-range commander, high firepower, middle shooter. Most of the time, Hinotori is a long shooter. Most of the traits are intended to buff EX skills or arena power. And I find that these traits here are just useless, in my opinion, because when we're dealing millions of damage, having a damage reduction of 150 is absolutely pointless. It's a drop in the bucket compared to a million. It does not help your survivability 1%, even a fraction of a percent. You cannot stack those enough to make it matter. Especially when they max out at like 5% or 150 or something like that. Maybe 250 if I'm recalling. In any case, these are the traits that actually have the most benefit. The bonus traits, when they're like the arena bonuses, those actually have added up to about 10% total and 2% EX skill power, but they're not really great at the moment. So in total, it's got beam shooting power boosted by 20% or 25%. Excuse me. Mid-range gets an EX cooldown boost of 20% from the perfect strike back. Then there's the armor bonus, or armor-based bonus from the Raphael legs. The squad cooldown bonus, initial cooldown bonus, and which is one of the reasons I end up making balanced teams with one of each type. It's a very good part, and I think that's going to be very prevalent in the top as well. Not that I get to see what they build most of the time, unless I hunt them down on Twitter, which I don't really like to do that too much. I feel like it's invasive and cheating, but it's not really. It's just research. Especially if I'm not doing anything to mess with them. I'm just checking out cool builds, and they posted the images, right? Anyway. The main traits, there's 15% cooldown for the first 60 seconds, which, that does suck pretty bad when the cooldown buff is over, but once that gets improved up to its maximum, then every match should not last more than 60 seconds if it's all maxed out. So 15% cooldown for first 60 seconds. plus that 20% is 35. You get 52 when you add the 17% there. A total of 70% for the power type, 93% because of the melee reduction, which I really wish they would stop having the range types run in and smash things with their melee weapons, especially given that there are so many traits that do this. It's functionally stupid. There's no way to put it otherwise. No one would ever do that, and yet the AIs are like, hey, I'm going to run into melee with my range attribute based suit that isn't designed for melee attacks. Haha, what's going to go wrong? So, and then there's this part which is just to patch up the small hole that I have in cooldown from the other parts, because there's 5% here, 3% there missing, or 3% there missing, excuse me, and 2% there, which in total is a 10% loss. But when those parts are improved, I can swap this out for something that's just power improvement. Meanwhile, the back parts, the body part here, the perfect strike freedom is maxed out. So, and I need to put the other. I don't know why I don't have the marked version on her, but anyway, that is most of the build. There's the skin, of course, which is this skin here. Providing the axis drop and some other stuff, of course. And I spent a while trying to color that, so I'm pretty proud of that, honestly. I would kit bash that if I had the money to make the plastic version of it. I do not. I barely have the money to play this game at the master level, frankly. And I'm suspecting this week I might actually end up dropped out of Master League if I'm not more diligent. So I'm kind of tired at the moment. I have tried a few more times to beat my score from the video today. Has not worked out. So I've got the shot attack thing there. Well, I don't suspect these are going to be very important to the commenter who asked for it. I do want to just do a all-inclusive build summary, though. So, axis drop is almost maxed out because I'm not gonna lie, I spent way more than I should have to upgrade that. Then I have Reborn Cannon mode, which I still need to upgrade as well. It's not perfect, obviously. None of this is perfect. This is, again, not perfect. I think I need to put the, I have a higher level version of the Rolling Buster on a different build. So that's the Hinotori build from my ranged build set, and that one's actually been buffed so that it can actually deal with players, but I haven't used it in a video yet, unfortunately. So thanks for joining me. Like, comment, and or subscribe if you enjoyed it. I might do more videos on the other ones once they hit 100% or something like that, because they're all on their way. So later, thanks for joining me. Peace.